Hey YouTube, how you doing? Biggie here, how's everything? And welcome to another movie review. Today's movie review is a movie I somewhat enjoy. It's not a bad movie. It's okay. It's a pretty decent film, in my opinion. And it was released in the summer of 2005. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yep. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was released in the summer of 2005, and this is a remake of the original 1971 film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Both of these films are based on the children's novel, the 1964 children's novel Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by British author Roald Dahl. And this movie is directed by Tim Burton. We all know directed other movies like Batman, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, even The Nightmare Before Christmas. The plot of this film takes place is almost the same as the original 1971 film did. It's about Willy Wonka, played by Johnny Depp, aided by his diminutive, whatever, Oompa Loompa workers, played by Deep Roy. Right there. He is giving out golden tickets in the candy bars, which we all know they're called Wonka bars. And he's giving them to 5 kids, and 5 kids are only allowed. And the 5 kids visit his factory and get an in-depth grand tour of his chocolate factory, and they visit the factory. Once the 5 kids win the golden ticket, Yep. And this kid, Charlie Bucket, he's played by Freddie Highmore. Freddie Highmore does this pretty good as Peter Ostrom did as Charlie in the first Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But yeah, he only gets 1 chocolate bar per year every birthday, but he doesn't get the golden ticket back then. But one day he found cash on the ground and buys a Wonka bar with it. And then he finally finds the golden ticket, and he was the last one to get the golden ticket. So Charlie goes to the chocolate factory with his grandpa Joe. He's played by David Kelly. David Kelly rest in peace. And the 4 other kids, Augustus Gloop, Vira Beauregard, Veruca Salt, and Mike TV, join in the fun. And the 4 other kids who join Charlie, they're like spoiled, mean, rude, disrespectful, and try to get whatever they want, and this and that. And what are you going to do? And they explore Wonka's chocolate factory just as much as like in the original movie with Gene Wilder. And the same things happen to like Augustus, Violet, Veruca, and Mike in the first film. Happened much to them in this film. However, if you remember in the first film, Veruca was considered a bad egg when she on that weight scale, and there were geese around and for the eggs. In this, they used eggs in this one, and in the original one. In this one, they use nuts, and they consider her a bad nut. And in this, they use squirrels, and there was a scene where she wanted a squirrel, and the squirrel like attacked her, and I guess they realized how rude and crude, disrespectful she was. She always wanted to get what she wanted. However, in this film, it shows how Wonka has had problems with his family. Eventually, then he turns to Charlie for advice about reconciliation with his father named Wilbur. And then during the reunion, Charlie notices newspaper clippings of Wonka's success, which Wilbur's collected. And then that's when Wonka and his dad, they reconcile. And then eventually Wonka allowed Charlie and his family to move into the factory together, and they all became one big happy family. when I reviewed the original 1971 film of the of I mentioned that this film that film is better than this one. Well, actually, to tell you the truth, in some cases, yes. In my opinion, like when I mentioned the Oompa Loompas in the first one, I like the costumes and the makeup on them better than this, and I still do to this day. And I like the film, but what made me not like this film better than the first one is they didn't do a remake songs of like the Oompa Loompas, the Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo, or the Willy Wonka song Pure Imagination. Come with me, and you will be in a world of pure imagination. Yeah. And I kind of like Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka appearance more than Johnny Depp's. I still think Johnny Depp did a pretty good job as well. Even Freddie, Highmore, and David Kelly did a pretty good job alongside the other cast members. And I love the Chocolate Factory in this one. It's not as good as the original, but it's still pretty good. And I love the high-tech technology of the Chocolate Factory in this film, especially for being from 2005. But I still give this movie a decent amount of praise. It's not a boring movie or a bad movie at all, despite that I like the first one better than this. I still recommend Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And if you've never seen this yet, you should check it out. And if you've never seen the original one, either check the original one out too. Also, this movie didn't do too bad. It has an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's has a 6.7 out of a 10 on IMDb, and the budget of it was had a $150 million budget, and it did pretty decent at the box office. It made over $475.8 million. Yes, this was not a... It was a decent film. It was okay, but it was good. And also, A.O. Scott of the New York Times, he says, "Wondrous. You've never seen anything like this before." And also Leonard Maltin of Entertainment Tonight, the Disney guy I call him, he says it's a feast for the eyes and the imagination. Yeah, I could see that somewhat, but like I said, the original one is probably the best, and this one is pretty good too. So I recommend anybody who's never seen this before, you should see it. Yeah. All right, YouTube, nice seeing you. Take it easy, be safe, and stay out of trouble. Peace.